Welcome back to another edition of Fly Tying for Beginners, and today we're going to tie a Daddy Long Legs red tail. The hook I have in the vise is a number 14. This is an 8000 from Green Caddis Outfitters, greencaddis.com, and this is a standard dry fly hook. I'm going to use a olive brown thread. You can use black thread if you'd like. Going to put a base of thread down, and we're going to bring that down to where the barb of the hook is, or was if you bend the barb down. And we're going to stop it there and break off the remainder. Now for the tail, we're going to use red hackle barbels. And this is just a schlappen feather I have laying around. Doesn't really matter what kind of feather you use. You just want to use red ones. I'm going to make that tail approximately the length of the hook shank. Go back maybe 2 more wraps there. We're going to tie that in. And I'm going to put 1 wrap underneath. I'm going to hold that up. Spreads it out there a little bit, which is fine. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put legs on. And the legs are a single pheasant tail hackle barbel, or pheasant tail barbel. We're going to take one single one and we're going to tie a knot in it. And you get something like this. We're going to take that, and you want the knots to be approximately the length of the hook shank, maybe a little longer. Here it's the length of the hook shank to the end of the tail. It's kind of difficult to make them a certain length until you make a lot of them, because knotting legs is not easy. We're going to put 2 of them on the back. I'm going to start with the one on my side. And keep that on the side of the hook shank. Then I'm going to take a second, and it doesn't really matter what angle it is. I'm going to put the second one on the opposite side. Doesn't really matter if they're pointing down or up either. This is a spider that's landed on the surface. It's crippled. Now we're going to tie in the rib, and the rib is going to be gold tinsel, and this is a number 16 for this size hook. I'm going to tie it in. This is gold and silver, and I'm going to tie it in so I can see the silver side of the hook. I'm going to tie that in on my side. Let me back that off just a little bit. I went too far. There we go. Now for the body, I'm going to use yellow floss. And one trick to control yellow floss, you can see that I might have a problem with fraying right there. Simply run it through your lips or run it across your tongue. And get a little bit of saliva on there, and that will help to control it. We're going to tie that right in. And now at this point, I'm going to tie it in all the way to the front. You can take your thread and give it a spin, give your bobbin a spin counterclockwise, and it will lay flat, and you'll get a flatter body shape. And tie all of that in and bring it right up to approximately 3/4 the length of the hook shank. And I'm going to remove any material that is left. Now I'm going to take the yellow floss and I'm going to wind it up. Oop, see that fray there? And as you wind it, you can see that it's not a very yellow color. But that's because of wetting it. And also because of the materials underneath, because this is only 2 strands, so it is showing the materials through from underneath a little bit. But once it dries out, it should get yellower. But this is more of a true color of what it will be on the water, because the body is going to catch moisture. It's not going to stay completely dry as you're fishing it. And then we can remove that excess. Now we're going to take our gold tinsel and we're going to palmer this forward. And palmering means open spirals. And if you have a rotary vise, it's simple to just hold it in one spot and turn the vise and you will get even spirals. When I get to the top, I'm just going to tie that off and remove the excess. And remove the excess there. Now we're going to take 3 more knotted pheasant tail legs. And these I want to get nice 90-degree angle. That's just a personal preference right now. I'm going to tie 1 to each side. If you have to, you can put a wrap in back of it, because you don't want them to be laying flat. You want them spread out there a bit. I'm going to take another and I'm going to place it on this side. I'm going to measure it to be about the same length as the previous. And to do that, there's another way to do that, because these fibers came all from the same piece of the pheasant tail, so the butt sections will be the same size also. Fix that knot a little bit. I got this one on this side. And I'm going to take a third one and I'm going to put that right on top. I'm actually going to take a 4th one, because that leg moved to that other side, so I'm going to put 2 on each side. I'm going to put a 4th one on the top, but I want it to stay on this side. And like I said, if you need to, we'll get that one back. If you need to, you can put a wrap behind the individual legs. And I'm going to take the second one over here and put a wrap behind that. And this one needs a wrap behind it. And there we go. I'm going to remove the excess. And tie in. And here is what we have. We got 6 legs on there. It's a spider, it's supposed to have 8 legs, but it's a little too tedious. I don't think the fish are gonna count the amount of legs. No, we're gonna put a hackle on, and I'm going to use a light ginger hackle. I stand the barbels up at the 90 degrees, give it a little crew cut there, and that will help give the thread something to hold on to. I'm going to tie in the hackle, but I'm going to leave a little bit. Maybe I'll go a little bit more. I'm going to leave a little bit of that crew cut not tied in. You can see. And by doing that, what we're going to do is, when we make our first wrap of hackle, you're not going to get a hackle barbel shooting off towards the back. We're going to wrap this. Just put one wrap in front of the previous. And I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to tie that off. Put a wrap in front of it. Pin that in. And I'm going to remove it. You can see the hackle is pointing almost at a 90 degree now. You know you have you have that hackle stem trapped in there pretty good when that happens. Just going to hold those hackles back and tie the head. I got one hackle sticking forward. Whoop. Put those legs back out where they belong. Going to take my whip finish. Give it 3 or 4 turn whip finish. Pull that tight. Tug on a little bit. Remove that. Take my scissors and I'm going to remove that one hackle. Oop, sticking up there just a little bit. That's good enough. Take our head cement. Put a little dab on there. And here we have a daddy long leg red tail. Hope that you learned something from this video. Hope that you would subscribe to my channel. Please refer me to your friends. Leave comments, questions, suggestions. And most of all, thank you very much for watching my videos.